What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now, kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. Now, we have talked about LSU a lot, documenting their season this past year, all the way up until last offseason as well, when they landed Haley Van Lith and Anissa Morrow, and we thought that this had all the makings to be a super team. It didn't quite work out that way, and now they're looking to fill some holes after getting knocked out of the NCAA tournament, looking to upgrade their roster overall, man. They lose Angel Reese, they lose Haley Van Lith, two major losses in my opinion. They lose half of that 2023 number one ranked freshman class in Janae Kent and Angelica Felice as well. So they're looking to add some more firepower to this roster. Today, though, I want to talk about several players that they must and absolutely should be targeting in the portal to possibly add to this roster to build around Anissa Morrow and Flau'jae Johnson and Michaela Williams. Now, before we get into all of that, though, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. And join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Now, there's a lot of potential program changers and franchise players in this transfer portal this year. So landing a few of these players could completely tip the scale of the power balance in the nation right now. We know South Carolina is the top dog and returning a whole lot of talent and bringing in some great talent as well. We just saw Joyce Edwards go crazy in the Nike Summit. But also, you got to look at UConn landing the number one player in the country, Sarah Strong, bringing back a good majority of this roster, including superstar Paige Beckers. Put some respect on her name. So we know that there's some heavy hitters already, and we also got to throw in USC in there as well, who could be in the running for this first player, the number one player in the transfer portal we're going to talk about. But it's a lot of star power coming back, but a lot of talent in this portal to where, a team can rebuild really quick or reload in LSU's situation. So looking at the first transfer, man, we got to talk about one of the most improved players in the nation out of Stanford, the forward, Kiki Irifen. Monster, led Stanford in scoring this season and just blossomed, man, this season compared to last year. Took huge strides. She is the best big available, and she is an immediate game changer, instant impact player, and she would be very, very well complimented playing next to an Anissa Morrow in the paint for LSU. Kiki, a 6'3 junior out of Los Angeles, California, which makes you think, of course she will consider UCLA and USC, right? But last season, man, was just incredible for Stanford, forming one of the best front courts next to Cameron Brink, who is also declaring for the WNBA draft, so she's leaving too. She's also up out of there. But Kiki, 19.4 points, 11 rebounds, 2.3 assists, shooting 54.6% from the field. Immediate offense, immediate game changer, and an immediate upgrade over Alea Del Rosario. Now, Del Rosario, I think, can still bring some things to the table, but not like a player like Kiki right now. Just the development and how far ahead she is. She would be the perfect replacement for Angel Reese, and maybe because she can hit the mid-range J too, so maybe even open up and make them a little bit more versatile. They can do a couple different things with her to create those driving lanes for Morrow, Johnson, as well as Williams. But I think this will be a great fit, just her play style. She's low maintenance. She doesn't have to dominate the ball to score. She's a high motor, high energy, super hyperactive, competitive forward. And, not comparing her to Angel Reese, but just bringing that dog mentality and that energy and that emotion that you're losing with Angel Reese, not only her production, but just that leadership. Kiki could come in and fill that void, man. I think she's just scratching the surface on her talent. I mean, you see just the trajectory, man, how she improved from last year in her sophomore year compared to this year. A completely different player. And I think that Kim Mulkey could potentially unlock that next level for her. We know Coach Vanderveer retired, so she's looking for a new home. I think she could be a huge addition, though, and I see why she's the number one player in the transfer portal, man. At 19 and 11 on any team is good business, but there is also a chance. I'm hearing that she is considering USC as well, so you can't, teaming up with the likes of Juju Watkins, Kennedy Smith, Rhea Marshall, like that team would be absolutely loaded. And I'm focusing on size first. Another big that I think they should pursue is Reagan Beers out of Oregon State. We know multiple players out of Oregon State jump ship, and they look like that program is about to totally collapse. The sophomore 6'4" is just efficient, man. 17.5 points per game, 10.3 rebounds. She can pass it out of the post, 1.6 assists, but shooting an incredible, which ranks second in the nation, 66.4% from the field. Are you kidding me? When you talk about just IQ and consistency and efficiency, we mentioned Kiki was low maintenance, but Beers, man, she just makes every time she touches the ball count. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, she was the heart and soul of that Oregon State team last year. She was Pac-12 freshman and sixth player of the year in 2023. She was a third-team All-American this season, and she's just been one of the best post players in the country for the last 2 years. She recorded 16 double-doubles despite missing some games late in the season with a broken nose, man. But when you talk about skill, versatility, and the ability to just plug in and play right away, and she's only a sophomore, so you still get at least 2 more years out of her as well. I think Beers is definitely a player that LSU needs to be looking at. 6'4", long, rangy, physical, and just super skilled, man. And I think they would have more of a finesse look with her and Anissa Morrow next to each other, and still have the bruiser Del Rosario down there as well. Now, those were some bigs I think they should definitely look at. Another Oregon State player too, man, a forward who's kind of versatile, Tamia Gardner, 6'3", another sophomore, youngster who can come in and be around the program a couple years and really help them transition into that next level. Give Kim Mulkey some more time to add to that class of 2025 and 2026. She was the highest rated recruit ever for Oregon State. She's a McDonald's All-American. She only played in 15 games as a freshman because of injuries, but she battled back this year for a breakout sophomore year. She won Pac-12 Sixth Player of the Year. She can shoot the three at 39.5%. You can play her down low a little bit. She can get in the paint. She can definitely spread the floor, and LSU could use another shooter, and versatility at 6'3". Maybe her and Beers are a package deal, and you can get both of them. She's got the size and 2 years of eligibility remaining for both of them. 6'4", 6'3", very skilled, already built chemistry together. Hey, man, that would be a dynamic package duo for LSU. 2 forwards out there. Now, with Talia Scott recently committing to Auburn, one of the top transfers, freshman last year, 22.1 points per game. With her off the mark, I think adding to the backcourt, not only starters, but depth has to be key. And they can't get Scott, but there are some quality upper-class veteran guards that have hit the portal that LSU should be going after as well to add to that backcourt. Starting with the third leading scorer in the nation, man, Lucy Olson, a 5'9" guard out of Villanova, a junior. I'm so glad she's getting out of Villanova, man. Oh, my goodness. No disrespect to them, but I wanted to see her on a better team. We need to see Lucy Olson in the freaking NCAA tournament, man. You talk about the third leading scorer in the nation right here, bro. Caitlin Clark and Juju Watkins were the only two to average more points than her this season, yo. And she has just been incredible. She jumped from 12.4 to 23.2 points per game in a year. Shows you the trajectory and that her best game could still be ahead of her. She won Big East Most Improved Player. She also led the conference in minutes played and started 105 games for Villanova over the past 3 seasons, which shows you she's durable, she's tough, and at 5'9", she doesn't get hurt, she doesn't miss games. She could come in and play next to Lester Poa. She's more of a scoring guard, even at 5'9". But with Poa's size, as well as Michaela Williams, they could definitely, and Flau'jae Johnson too, they could definitely plug Lucy Olson in there. She may not be a starter. I don't know how that's going to go because I think Lester Poa should be the point guard. So I don't know, you could mix and match, but having Olsen come off the bench or having Lester Poa come off the bench would be a very big benefit for LSU and Kim Mulkey. But adding a scorer, adding 23.2 points per game, the thing is, I don't know about the fit here. I don't know how she fits in this lineup. But I think she's a player they should absolutely be entertaining because she is arguably the most productive player and the best scoring guard in this transfer portal, hands down. And she's got experience. She's been in college a while, and she's gotten better every single year she's been at Villanova. I don't know how she fits the roster, though. I think, you could make it work. Kim Mulkey, I'm not doubting her coaching ability. We could see different lines because it's not always about starters and bench players at this point, man. You can give starter minutes to somebody coming off the bench, and if Lucy Olsen's willing to come in and sacrifice like Haley Van Lith did, then I think this could be a perfect fit as far as her filling a need for LSU immediately with her scoring, her shot making ability, and giving them another playmaker, but also a player who can get to her shot. Because right now, really the biggest offensive threats on the perimeter are Michaela Williams and Flau'jae Johnson, two players that can get to their spots and create for themselves. And then Anissa Morrow as well can do the same thing as far as, knocking down shots off the perimeter, taking it off the dribble. But Olsen would give them a star in the backcourt, add much needed depth, and some immediate firepower for this group. One player I was surprised to see hit the portal was Deja Kelly, the senior out of North Carolina, who's been one of the best guards in the nation for years now. It was a tough run for North Carolina, man. I think a lot of people expected them to be a lot better, and they kind of underachieved. But it was a two-player show with Kelly and Alyssa Utsby, man. But she was the unquestioned leader for North Carolina, and they made 4 straight NCAA tournaments. She ranks 8th in career scoring for UNC. Last season, she averaged 16.3 points and 3.2 assists. She's more of a combo guard, though. Like, Kelly could really fit in at the 1 or the 2 for this group, man. She's a scorer. She could provide immediate spark. I don't know if she's going to be willing to come off the bench being a starter for so long, but she could provide an immediate spark at being a point guard, giving them another ball handler that can create and give Poa, take some pressure off of her. But she's also a very good scorer, very effective, can shoot the 3, can really take over games, and is fearless attacking that cup. She's been one of the best players in the nation, and I think her scoring punch could really, really help LSU. Having another veteran guard that can really just provide spark, man, because that's what LSU was missing when their starting 5 was off the court this season. There was just nobody to really provide a spark. Another guard recently who entered is Layla Falia out of Michigan, the 6-foot guard. Man, I think just showing what she could do her first year as the number 1 option for Michigan, man. She really delivered this year. 16.8 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. She ranked in the top 5 of every major statistical category for the Wolverines. When you talk about a stat sheet stuffer and somebody that doesn't just need to rely on scoring to impact the game, she does a lot of things well, and she would be a big addition. We saw her go crazy in the Big Ten tournament, averaging 24.8 points per game in 3 games, and it was just tough for Michigan, man. They never broke into the top 25 this year. 6 players jumped into the portal, so it was a messy situation. She had to get out and see what else was out there, seek better greener pastures for herself. But she is really, really talented, man. Just does a lot of things well, brings good size, versatility, can score it from all 3 levels, will crash the glass. Also is capable of getting other players involved. I think she's like a Swiss Army knife, man. And just with her versatility, I know that this is probably another player that's not looking to come off the bench. So I don't know what that means for Lester Poa. And she's really not a point guard for Leah. She's more of an instant impact scorer. You still have Flau'jae Johnson and Michaela Williams, so it's tough to gauge the guards and how the lineups will be mixed, but she would be an immediate upgrade for this offense as far as just providing depth, immediate scoring. I don't know if she's willing to buy in and cut her minutes, though, or potentially come off the bench with this group, because it seems like Laster Poa, Michaela Williams, and Flau'jae Johnson are locked into those 3 spots. But if they could get her to come in, this will be another big addition who LSU at least needs to roll the dice and try to talk to. The last player on the list who I think could be a sneaky get for LSU is Texas A&M's sophomore forward Janah Barker, the 6'4 stud, the highest rated recruit in Aggies history. She was the number 3 overall prospect in 2022, so you know the type of blue chip talent that she is. She didn't really live up to expectations in her first year, but she has been really, really productive in games that Texas A&M needed her, man. In 49 games, and she had some injuries her freshman year as well, so we have to take that into consideration. But she did average 12.5 points per game and 6.8 rebounds along with that, and she had the most upside of anybody on Texas A&M. You see the talent. She battled through some injuries and only played 49 games in 2 years, so it's tough. She still got to get some more experience, but the talent is there, man. Barker's super versatile. She's good in the paint. She's good from the mid-range. She runs the floor like a gazelle. She's long. She's athletic. And the way that LSU runs transition, she might be the best fit of anybody that I've mentioned so far, man. Just with her ability to get up and down the floor, catch, and finish. She wouldn't have to do a whole lot of creating for herself, and she wouldn't have to come in and be the be-all, end-all, number 1 option for this group. She could come in, take a lesser role, but also just get back to being healthy, finding her fundamentals and getting back her bearings and playing basketball, man, what she loves to do. But I think she has as much upside as any player on this list that we talked about, man. Barker is big time in my opinion, and I think she would make an immediate impact at that 4 or 5 spot. For LSU, man, depending on what the lineup, she could play the 5 if need be. She's long enough. She's physical enough. She needs to put on a little weight, but she's definitely athletic enough to compete with any of the other bigs in the nation. And we know Kim Mulkey, for the most part, has set these transfers up to succeed. It wasn't too long ago where she had another 6-foot-plus forward that battled some injuries coming from Maryland and turned her into a national championship. Turned her into a national champion. So Barker could have the same type of impact where she comes in and finds her second win, her second career at LSU, man. I think out of everybody, she's probably the best fit for this roster, and she feels an immediate need as well. But we'll see, man. I know there's more players that they will be talking to and that they should probably be talking to, but if they can get the Oregon State dynamic duo, maybe Barker, maybe get a Lucy Olsen, Deja Kelly, somebody. They need it. Somebody, anybody, they need help. It's a lot of talent on this team, but I know more so they are looking to add depth to this bench and also find a replacement for Angel Reese. And I don't think that replacement's on the roster. So if I were them, I'd be going hard after Janah Barker for sure. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Holler at your boy. Let me know some more names, some more players we should be talking about, and let me know the projections. How do y'all think LSU will rebuild this roster and look next season? Holler at your boy. Let me know. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.